to play a map like this one. But yeah, this should be a great match coming up.
Well, let's dive into it in the bottom left from Team Liquid. Looking to make the playoffs today with a victory, of course, as he sits 2-0 in the Swiss group stage. It is SKillous.
And in the top right-hand side, going for his classic opening, it is MaxPax for Psystorm.
It's so interesting because I saw someone, I was casting MaxPax Showtime about a couple hours ago, and this is kind of how Showtime was opening too. Even on the map of the ramp, he went 2 gates high. I think actually went 1 gate, but high ground gate. And then obviously you would expect, like on a map with the ramp, you would at least just go kind of low ground gate first, the low ground gate, because then MaxPax can't necessarily do anything weird against you. So I wonder if some of these European Protoss players have started to figure out a little bit of something that might be kind of like specifically good about how MaxPax plays and so on. Just because I've seen this a couple of times now, and I wouldn't say it's the most immediately like obvious kind of way of setting up, because like I say, on a map with the ramp, you generally go play like, you know, it's a map with the ramp, right? So interesting.
Yep. No, yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, last time around, I got to cast SKillous against Showtime, and he won 2-0. One of the games was a comeback even. And one of the games was a Blinkstalker opening with a sentry for hallucination, and then just jumping into the main, for example, of a similar setup as we see here. So SKillous is going to scout MaxPax. He's going to see, you know, the classic MaxPax opening at this point, and I'm not sure what he's going to think of it, but I completely agree with you. That's exactly where my mind went as well. Was like, why are the gates on the high ground? Like, I don't really see the utility. Maybe it's just that he doesn't want the second probe. Like, he wants to scout with his first probe and doesn't want the second probe to go all the way to the natural to drop the second gateway on the cybercore, or something of the sorts. Not sure.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Obviously, we do end up with 2 gates, which does power you up if you do want to be aggressive. SKillous, probe in the middle of the map, drop a pylon down, go robo. I mean, if that's your plan, I guess, then sure. And if you feel like the probe is going to get into scout anyways, then what's the point of faking it out second gateway on the low ground, right? So, yeah, I kind of understanding it here like a little bit, I suppose. Like I say, we're definitely going to proxy something here as SKillous. He's going to get aggressive on a map that has so many entry points for Prism and so on, that maybe it is actually a good way to kind of punish a MaxPax who tries to just do so, you know, so much with so little, but he's so good at maximizing everything that he gets up.
Yeah, that's a very good point. A lot of different entry points into that third, and then the rampant leading to the natural, or just behind the natural, or straight into the main through the right. So yeah, it is kind of wide open for War Prism play, as MaxPax is going for a most likely. I was gonna think a Void Ray actually, but it's gonna be an Oracle. And yeah, I mean, he'll get some scouting off of that, but a Void Ray would have obviously been ideal given the setup that SKillous has. SKillous denied enough information that MaxPax doesn't know whether he's expanding or not. At the moment, there seems to be no intent from SKillous to do that. And yeah, this could definitely work out if it's unscouted.
Yeah, we'll see if he builds a Void Ray just blindly as the second unit out of this target. I kind of feel like he might. MaxPax is one of the things that he's so good at is figuring it out while seeing so little. Oracle will start across the map. Zoom in. Sorry, there you go.
Oh, that's it. We missed it. I should have zoomed in.
My bad, Kaz. I'm sorry.
There it is.
Letting Cardi Z down over here.
You called it as well. You called it and didn't zoom in. You called it but didn't commit, you know?
I didn't need to zoom in. I'm too cool. You know, I walk away from the explosion without looking back.
Fair enough. All right, let's see. I don't think the Oracle's gonna do much. Usually MaxPax likes to commit even if there's a shield battery to try to do as much damage as possible instead of, say, dropping a stasis like most people would. A Stalker will be worked in, but that's not gonna do anything to deter the Oracle from killing extra probes before leaving. It will continue to survive, and on the other side, the Stalker aggression is getting ready to be lifted up.
Yep, gonna get into all of this main base as we do see the probe here from MaxPax. We'll see it coming in. The warping will happen in this in-base third, so now you're gonna have to defend on the wrong side of the Nexus, although this next battery coming up here is actually really big because that's close enough to defend the Nexus with your units kind of towards the top side of it. So again, that's what's so great about MaxPax. The positioning is very good. He does pop Prismatic very early here. Let's see if that turns into an issue for him. At the moment, it's still scaring SKillous off a little bit, and the new Void Ray is now out.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful shield battery there. Really tucked him behind the Nexus, and potentially also aiding should SKillous push through the front. Then you would have 2 shield batteries to rely on. The Oracle's going to try something else on the other side of the map. And SKillous is looking for critical mass to try to one-shot the Void Rays in spite of a shield battery, even if it's overcharged. The Stalker does a good job on the other side. Probes are being pulled off the line for MaxPax. Not sure if that was the play, but he's trying to soak up damage instead of his Nexus taking it. So that's understandable, as the probes are likely to soak up one volley, and you know, one volley of this many stalkers onto the Nexus gets dangerous as one of the Voiders does get taken down. Beautiful micro as well to save one of the stalkers, and prismatic alignment has been used. Things are not looking bad for the Russian.
Yeah, no, SKillous absolutely getting some value out of this at the moment, and he is going to keep on poking forward. The fact he's actually threatening the Nexus, I think, is a big deal. Because that's really the thing which, MaxPax does not want to give up no matter what. Now you got enough stalkers, you got to be careful because they can find themselves the Void Rays, but that's the moment where it all goes wrong. You dive in a bit too far, you lose a couple stalkers. Now you begin to lose the ability to one-shot the, those Void Rays here. And we use the Super Battery end of its charge to finish healing up this Nexus to give it a bit more life once again. SKillous still warping in. MaxPax about to find a third Void Ray once more. Doing a great job of just pulling back, just trying to bait his opponent forward. And just buying time as we do see another Void Ray showing up. This one just about surviving, Cats.
Yeah, that Cell of Thorn on his side at least has fallen now, but the third Void Ray is very, very scary. These two shield batteries at the front are out of energy, but is that gonna matter? One of the Void Rays is low, but not low enough that it does to get tucked in behind another shield battery. Enough stalkers could be warped in to make the difference still for SKillous, as the Warp Prism has managed to survive this entire time. And he can continue now to siege perhaps this Nexus. I don't know if he wants to overextend too much. And yeah, he's gonna do exactly that. And it's looking pretty good for him now.
No, it's looking great because all of a sudden Super Battery no longer available. And that's one of the cooldowns you work around here as MaxPax. And now, yeah, I mean, he only has one Void Ray. So really, what else is he working with? Not enough. If you go in the main base too soon as SKillous, maybe you're in some trouble to the Pro Pool. But nope, it's going to be good. GG. SKillous gets the first map off of MaxPax with a wonderfully worked out build order. Is going to be seeing SKillous taking that first game of the best of 3.
Yeah, in classic SKillous fashion as well, you expect him to be the aggressor, you expect him to be heavy on the micro. There was only one blunder that I saw that was near impossible not to have, which was, for me, when he was microing the Stalkers and the Warp Prism, the Zealot soaked up like a full volley. And if that had gone on one of the Void Rays, like I feel like that could have been game ending a little bit earlier. But yeah, I mean, just about impossible to micro everything perfectly, but he did his best to nearly be perfect, and that's what it took to beat MaxPax this time around. SKillous has been a beast as well as of recently, and in this matchup, I mean, he was so impressive against Showtime last time I watched.
All right, well, we are going to dive ourselves into this PvP. SKillous, yeah, no, he's been leveling up a little bit, and he actually did come through as a couple of Protoss players, like you say. He came through Night Phoenix, and then he came through Showtime. So, yeah, maybe his PvP's feeling it. Maybe right now they've got something figured out a little bit against MaxPax as well. As we dive into game number 2, Golden Aura is going to be our map. This is not a map with a ramp on the natural, so we'll see how SKillous approaches this one. As we kind of know that is just going to be, MaxPax dropping down a low ground gateway. So I guess we'll see what happens here.
We'll have to wait and find out. Golden Aura, aesthetically speaking, one of the most beautiful maps on the map pool, I think. It looks a little bit like a resort of some kind. I like it. And we are here in the bottom right-hand side. It is Nikita Gurevich, SKillous. Say his name.
Well, this guy's name?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I feel like that's
the intros, no?
Confidential information, Cats.
Oh, I see.
Top left-hand side from Sidestone Gaming. He is Maximus Paximus. MaxPax.
There we go.
Nice. You did it.
And just
the secrets revealed.
Nasty.
This is a nasty proxy. Oof.
Yeah, nasty. Talk about secrets to reveal. This one's not going to be revealed for a little bit. And it's going to be a Forge Gateway here. So looking to cannon rush the front of MaxPax's base. I wonder what the reaction is going to be here. Do you just tuck into your main and play a game from there in one base? Because this is a heavy investment, obviously, from SKillous to be out here in the first place.
Yeah, no, it's very invested. I mean, there's no way you defend the low ground as MaxPax, right? So
do you cancel the Cybercore after you drop it? Because you're going to see the pylon now.
Yeah, you see the pylon.
Doesn't even drop the Cybercore.
Yeah, Cybercore in the main base, I guess.
If the gateway's not ready.
Yeah. As SKillous, I guess you start 2 cannons. I wonder if he finishes 2 cannons. Whoa, Cybercore at the front.
That is wild.
I agree. No, I really agree.
There's no pylon in the main base.
Now MaxPax sees the gateways as well.
Is there not?
There is one pylon in the main base, yeah.
That's wild. Why did he drop the Cybercore there?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out. There must
be
some
Zealots
sort of
on the low ground for
maybe
longer, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if he could get a full wall off, maybe that buys him time for the Stargate or something of the sorts.
Yeah.
Difficult to justify. But yeah, if he's not going to use the Cybercore, rely on either a Stargate or a Robo in Immortals or something like that to try to burst through the cannons, then maybe there's a shot. The Zealots are going to make their way into the main, completely ignoring the natural, identifying that the cannons are already covering that. And at the very least, this forces MaxPax to make this shield battery and whatever else he needs. And also, they get a wonderful scout on the tech, which is going to be a Stargate. This is doing a lot of damage already. SKillous. Nifty.
4 probes going down. Now going to find another one as well, perhaps. There we go. Number 6 goes in.
Long arms.
I mean, if you get to the Stargate as MaxPax, then brilliant. So time is on, and obviously you don't have cannon support on the high ground either, so it's really just these Zealots. And the Skillous at least may have to start thinking of pylons back at home, potentially going for, you know, a cannon or 2 back at home eventually against the Stargate production, but I mean, right now he's just going to keep on trying with these Zealots at the front cats.
Yeah, and that's a good decision. I think I like it that he even canceled the second cannon at the natural, which is wonderful from him. So really just being super efficient here is Skillous. And Adept is going to be wonderful to just push those Zealots away. They recognize the threat and will back away to the safety of their cannons. The Adept is going to bypass things to try to get a scout of sorts. And on the other side, MaxPax was looking for some sort of proxy, maybe, I don't know, some shield batteries or something to retreat with the Void Race, but it's not going to happen either.
No, it is not. So things are very weird. Here's the first Void Ray popper now, and that should, in theory, I mean, does it block everything on this position? Because I guess the Stalkers will be able to start fighting against the Void Ray to some extent as well. So it's going to be a very interesting slow breakout. Usually I really like the guy that gets Void Rays up in this scenario, but let's see what happens as we recall back home. Deal with the Adept.
Yeah, and Skillous does have that shield battery as well, so had this been an Oracle, it would have been accounted for. Instead, MaxPax tries to find an opening, but Skillous is very well prepared. I mean, if it's not for the Void Ray, there is absolutely no reason to have a shield battery with his setup over there. So the fact that he just, you know, foresees not only the unit, obviously the tech path he scouted, but also that the Void Ray won't cross the map, but rather try to siege him and be ready for it. Just incredible foresight from Nikita.
Yep, he's really got this planned out. He's thought, well, what's MaxPax going to do if I do this build? And he's really figured out all the opportunities, all the things he might have to prepare for. So, yeah, he's really dealing with it well so far. Single Adept will continue to try and find some way in, but just not going to find any fortune just yet.
No, it doesn't look like it. The Zealot's going to chase it around, but is it even worth it to micro this Adept? It's difficult to justify, right? Because it's not going to kill the Zealot anytime soon either, so... What do you do if you're MaxPax? Immortals is the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just play like a power army, right? Void Ray is Immortal, very difficult army to punch through, especially if Skillous has no tech units. And especially if it's gateway units without any blink or, you know, charge or anything, then yeah, it's probably one of the better ways you go about it. You've not got Warp Gate here either, so your own gateway units don't really exist. So yeah, I'm kind of into the combo, and I actually kind of wonder what Skillous' plan is as these units come up. Like, is he going to be able to truly fight them in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Skillous, I think this is the right call. I love this game there because yeah, like I'm watching it and I'm so learning so much. It's like, yeah, the Immortals make so much sense. Like it's gonna offer the Void Rays a lot more depth, a lot more safety, and Skillous, I think his plan was to retain this contained for as long as possible. Still with the Sentries might be able to, as he can section off the Immortal while taking an economic lead, right? So if you can make it so that MaxPax takes a little bit longer to his natural, then that's gonna be your game plan, and then you can transition maybe into charge or something with to deal with yeah, Immortal type army.
Well, that Council gonna
or
finish
Blink
up.
even? I don't know if
yeah,
I love Blink.
I do wonder. Maybe Blink, because I think Blink will be good against the Voids as well. But charge against Immortals would be nice as well. I think Stalkers are just... I think it's going to be one of those scenarios where Skillous has to play lower unit count. And if you have to play a lower unit count, then Blink probably comes into play more effectively than Charge does. Right now, he just needs units. As this army is just chasing as well. So completely ignoring the fact we could have denied these 2 gateways, but very soon the Immortal will do that as well, and then Skillous isn't going to have many warp-ins. This is looking good for MaxPax.
Definitely. He bled a lot, Skillous did on the chase there. At least Prismatic Alignment has been utilized, so there's a little bit of a backing away that has to happen here. Nice target firing onto the Void Ray before finishing off the Immortal, so really nice moves here from Skillous.
Yeah, I'm kind of into that. I feel like that was finally getting a few extra units up and finally making it back, but that's obviously now unable to continue because you've lost power to 2 gates, so your continued warp-ins don't happen. This is maybe where MaxPax is able to kind of, again, reattain control with the army. And as the probes get down to the low ground, they will get to battery range before that Oracle does too much more damage, so nothing really gained there.
Yeah, at the same time, MaxPax, I mean, he did such a brilliant job of breaking out with just 3 units that his expansion is not that far behind. So SKillous has a little bit of an eco lead, but MaxPax definitely has the lead in terms of tech. So this game very much up in the air, but it's SKillous that is going to have to stave off some aggression here now. And 3 Void Rays and an Immortal, pretty scary when your army is mostly Stalkers.
Yes, it is. The Void's going to activate as well. Battery can overcharge, remember, so that's going to be one of the benefits here. But there's just so much power. I love the probe pull. I think that's necessary to soak up some of these Immortal shots. But man, it's just such a powerful force. 35 to 10 army supply. Skillous can't actually get enough units out in time. And MaxPax is going to win this out in a very strange game.
Very strange game. No other way to put it, really. GG is called, and even though SKillous did open up kind of perfectly and the opening worked, I mean, he did everything that he came for. MaxPax even offered that Cybercore. Still not sure why it was placed on the low ground. Like, I don't think it did much for him. No. But yet still, just I think the fact that he can identify that he is safe to move out with just 2 Void Rays and 1 Immortal and just bully his opponent based on army composition was awesome. And yeah, both players making some brilliant decisions in that game, but it's MaxPax that comes on top.
All right, we're going to head into Hector for game number 3. We are going to get a decided map. Cats, you asked for 2-1s all day. Marine didn't quite live up to your request, but PvP is going to go the distance at least a little bit. And fast games, but fun games for sure. And PvP really is that matchup right now where, yeah, you might expect it to be a quicker matchup, but it's almost always fun and entertaining and, like, aggressive at least. It's not like fast and they're like, oh, you didn't spot this and you just die. Like, maybe every now and again, every matchup is, right? But PvP really has been like this fun, explosive matchup lately.
Yeah, especially when you're going up against MaxPax, because you know exactly what he's going to do, and you know that he's so good that you can't, if you're SKillous, you're preparing for MaxPax. I'm sure everyone is preparing for MaxPax, but at this stage, players that are 2-0, right, like we're going to have the best of Europe going up against each other, and it's clear that SKillous has put in a lot of preparation, a lot of thought into at least the first 2 games. Did he prepare for a third one? I would think so. But the third map is usually the one that as a player you're like less, especially in a mirror matchup, because there's no real advantage to where you would expect yourself to lose on the first 2. So the third one is usually the one that has the least preparation, but we'll see. I'm excited. I mean, those 2 games were really, really cool from SKillous, and obviously great adaptations from MaxPax.
Yep. It's been a fun series. This man's been bringing all of the fun builds. In the top right, our blue Protoss from Team Liquid, SKillous.
And in the bottom left-hand side, it is for Psystorm, MaxPax. Oh, the cover. I liked it.
Liked it. Beautiful.
Yeah, it was like wobbly almost.
Nice.
But man, yeah, like this is the thing, right? Like MaxPax, you know what he's gonna do, so you can prepare. But did SKillous prepare for this one? What do you think, Wardich? Are we gonna see something wild again? We've seen 2 wild builds.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of think so, because you got to know MaxPax is good, and so many people do wild things against MaxPax, and they don't work.
Yeah.
So you've got to know that it's not just going to necessarily be a 2-0, right? So then you've got to have a plan for game 3.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say absolutely.
Okay, let's see it. So for the time being, fairly normal here. MaxPax scouting pretty fast. SKillous is the one that's concerned with MaxPax being tricky as he scouts his own natural for any sort of proxies, or maybe he's just hiding the probe and telling MaxPax, hey, I left my base, so look around and out on the map, and maybe drops a second pylon out there instead, just at the natural.
I mean, there is a world in which you kind of say, hey, look, like, I've played 2 crazy games. Look at me being crazy again. The 2 gates are coming up. Probe's out on the map. He hides a pylon in his natural. And then the reality is MaxPax plays a bit defensively, and SKillous just takes an expansion with it and just says, okay, cool, now you've got a Void Ray. What's that going to do? In a game like this, what does that achieve? Really nothing. So there's that mind game to it as well, where maybe playing normal now is the way to kind of catch MaxPax off the most. So a possibility as well.
I think it could be, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's normal with the twist of the pylon and the natural, right? If MaxPax could waste a lot of time looking, and in fact he is. He already has a probe out on the map looking for the proxy because he saw, or it's a Serral, because he saw the probe moving out, right? And SKillous is going to come here at a weird angle with the probe as well, which is rather beautiful too. So MaxPax is going to see that. I'm surprised that he even drops the pylon, but I think it's bait.
Yeah, I actually was going to say the same. Maybe eventually if it survived long enough, you'd warp in like 2 more stalkers and pressure, but I kind of feel like it's like, hey, look, I'm rallying up to kind of come out and do some damage here. And then he's going to take the Nexus on the 3rd base as well. He's completely selling this as something that it's not.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So let's see how MaxPax is going to react and if he's going to buy. He ain't buying. Goes for the Oracle right away.
Oh, he sees it as well. Scouts
drop a shield battery. Oh, wow.
Wow. That's
this guy.
There's almost just no catching him off, man. Like, and SKillous doesn't know he scouted the 3rd
that's
either.
Annoying, no?
Yeah.
And this was so cool from SKillous. I mean, he even invested a pylon that we knew was gonna die. Like, gives away the pylon with the probe coming in from the angle at which he dropped it. So, like, that pylon was 100 resources donated to MaxPax that SKillous knew was donating in order to get away with that fake 3rd. You know, like in order to get away with the mind game and to catch him off guard, to catch him over preparing for aggression that wasn't gonna come, and still MaxPax gets the read and won't fall for it. It's just no bueno, no bueno. Unlucky.
Twilight Council on the way here from SKillous, getting that ready as the Stalker brings the Oracle back down the right-hand side. Void Ray is about to finish from MaxPax. So he builds a Void Ray anyway, and he's just going to send it on the map to go harass, which honestly may not be a bad thing with the fact that this base is now separated from the main. So maybe there is some potential with this, and then he's just going to follow with the Twilight Council. That will not be too far behind the Twilight Council of SKillous now.
Yes, indeed. And we probably should be expecting Blink at the stage in the game. But, I mean, a Void Ray and 2 Stalkers already a very scary prospect. There is a shield battery. They're not yet completed, actually. So that's going to be pretty scary. This could just be a very sudden ending. Another warping of a Stalker. At least it's fast enough as the Nexus has completed. And now the Void Ray is getting a little bit low. So SKillous will actually be able to hold. Not doing the best job of moving forward after his first shot. The Serral will get kited, but the Stalkers will evacuate with their lives. And in the main, no shield battery means 10, 11 workers have fallen to the Oracle while this was all going on.
I love that. The Oracle joins the fight at the front at first, then just swings into the main to add on extra kills.
Yeah.
Just great stuff from MaxPax, and just great identification. He's like, oh, you're doing all these things weird. Well, you know what? I actually built a unit or 2 myself, and let me just kind of come across. And it's really a tight timing because that Void Ray is terrible the moment 2, 3 more Stalkers are all together. But he hits at just the point where the few Stalkers can't quite deal with it, so SKillous has to scramble. Suddenly the probes are fine, then the Oracle's there to help. MaxPax just a master at, again, making the most out of these situations. And it's like, how often does he play against something like this? Like, how often does this situation arise? But clearly something's happened similarly enough recently that he's able to kind of come out with a response like this now. And that's what makes him just so almost unbeatable in this matchup a lot of the time, because he just understands moments that a lot of people probably struggle to understand because they just don't happen a lot.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it has happened to him before, because if it had happened, it probably wouldn't have been from the caliber of player that SKillous is, right? Like, clearly this is something prepared from SKillous that he has, I imagine, been careful not to show too much of, especially to his opponent that he's doing it to. And I love what you're saying, because the Oracle shows up at the 3rd and then repositions to the main just after seeing, if you have this many units here, there's a good chance you have 1 or no Stalkers back at the main in order to hold this. So it's just not even the decision making, but how fast he makes it as well, right? Just, yeah, it's incredible, really.
No, absolutely. He is just so smooth, and now already Stalker's showing up. He, of course, has Blink right now, and so as he blinks into the main, well, goodbye 2 gateways. They're going to be unpowered, and that's going to make it difficult to defend this, and you can obviously just blink out of here as well. There's already good damage. 3 probes, couple of gateways depowered for a few moments. Now you rotate back around, and guess what, SKillous? Yeah, you got a base in the wrong place. So he can just retake position here, and this is a better fight for SKillous than it is MaxPax.
Yeah, I would say for MaxPax, yeah, I think that's what you were meaning to say as well. The shield battery is not here, so MaxPax can take a fight in the open. As SKillous repositions to the left, MaxPax might look to disengage, actually not paying attention for a brief moment there. Gonna cost him a little bit of that engagement, but it's still 30 supply lead in his favor, so looking very, very difficult for SKillous still.
Yeah, no, that definitely meant MaxPax could catch cast. I'm saying the wrong thing. But yeah, no, he just had the concave. The one thing SKillous had was a Guardian Shield that didn't last too long anyways. And once again, MaxPax is going to come forward, fight a little bit. There is a battery here to be careful of, but you know, as the aggressor, you can kind of just choose to disengage as you wish. So let's see. He uses a couple of Stalkers so far. Battery is drained of energy. Both of them are. We do not have Overcharge available just yet from SKillous. So that's one of the reasons why you can keep on fighting here as MaxPax.
Yeah, very nice blink forward there to snipe one more Stalker on the way out. But MaxPax already has set up his third base. He's already 15 workers ahead. And he is ready to blink back into the main. Doesn't even need to wait for the observer, as the Oracle is already here. GG gets called, and MaxPax